Oh my God. What the hell? What the hell did I just watch? Oh my goodness, that was the biggest duds out of all duds that you could possibly think of. Oh my goodness. I am speechless. I have no idea what to say. I'm stuttering all over the place, for God's sakes. Holy shit. Holy shit. They got their asses spanked. The Sixers, my God. They lost by, 48 points to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics beat them 135-87. Oh my God, Joel Embiid needs James Harden. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I have no words. No words. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm just in shock and awe. Just watching that game, I'm just like, what am I watching? They couldn't hit anything, and the Celtics were just going off. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, my God. Those two went off. The Sixers, my God. They couldn't do anything. They could do jack shit. My goodness. And I'm barely going to talk about this game because nothing happened in the game. I also do want to bring up, the James Harden press conference earlier, also Ben Simmons stuff. So there's definitely some stuff to talk about today. But this Sixers game, oh boy. Oh boy. My goodness. If we could stray away a little bit, talk a little bit about this game, and then go into the James Harden, Ben Simmons stuff, I'll be fine with that. So, before we get into all of that stuff, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and if you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that sub button. If you are looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, it is a great or a miserable time depending on the outcome, and today has definitely been miserable with the Sixers loss and the Flyers loss, so yeah, hit the sub button. Also, if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. So yeah, the Sixers got their asses spanked by the Boston Celtics. Yeah, let that sink in. Yeah. Just everything. Just literally everything that went wrong in this game went wrong. It was that bad. On national television as well. My God. Everything you think of could have went wrong. The Sixers, from the field today, shot 28%, 28.7% to be precise. 23 of 80 from the field. They couldn't hit shit. From three, 25%, that's 8 out of 32. The Celtics, they shot over 56% from the field. 46 out of 82. And they shot over 50% from three. 50% on both stats. Over 50% in total from the field, and over 50% in general from three. From three, 25 out of 45. The Sixers, I think, throughout more of the half stages of the second quarter, at most parts, like throughout even like the first half going into the third quarter, they only had 14 field goals made. It was that bad. It was, makes me want to gag. It was that bad. It was so ugly. Just looking at the stats, just everything you could have think of went wrong today for the Sixers. And like, it's not from the fact of Joel Embiid not trying, because he was basically the guy out there trying to do everything out there. He just really couldn't. Joel Embiid, 19 points in 26 minutes. So basically his entire stat line. 3 of 9 from the field. Majority of his points did come from the free throw line. He was 13 out of 16. He was 0 for 1 from the 3. Had 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Yeah, not the best night from Joel Embiid. But then when you look at the guys around him, yeah, I can definitely see why one of the major reasons the Sixers lost this game. Tobias Harris in 28 minutes, 6 points, 2 out of 7 from the field, did not attempt 1 3 in this game, and he went to the free throw line once and made both shots, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Danny Green, 3 points in 19 minutes, and it was a 3. That was basically it from Danny Green. Tyrese Maxey was probably one of the only other guys that was actually trying tonight. 11 points in 31 minutes, so he played the most minutes out of anyone on the floor tonight. 3 out of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, hit all of his free throw shots, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Matisse Thybulle, a good old 1 point in this game, and that was a lone free throw shot. He was 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. All of his shooting attempts today were from 3, beyond the arc, and he missed all of them. So, yes, I did discuss when you do acquire a guy like James Harden, I was more happy to keep a guy like a Matisse Thybulle. You definitely saw that from Daryl Morey in the press conference today for James Harden. But this is also the downside to Matisse Thybulle. For as great as he is defensively, he cannot shoot worth a lick. He cannot. And in a game where everyone is struggling, it's going to stand out a lot more. It definitely is. Like, Matisse Thybulle cannot shoot. We all know this. So, yeah, not good. Looking at the bench today, Paul Millsap got some minutes late in the game. He played 9 minutes in total, got 9 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 free throws made. Niang, 9 points off of the bench in 22 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, made all of his 3-throw attempts. Paul Reed in the 15 minutes had 3 points, 1 of 2 from the field. You got Bassie off the bench, played 7 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from the 3-throw line. Shake Milton, 27 points off the 27 minutes, not 27 points, my God. If he had 27 points, at least the Sixers would have somewhat been in the game. He had 8 points off of the bench, 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, made all of his 3 throws. Furkan Korkmaz, 18 minutes off of the bench, 6 minutes, 2 of 7 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. You got Isaiah Joe, 3 points off of the bench. One of those shots was basically a lone 3 in 9 minutes played. And Charlie Brown, 4 points in 5 minutes, basically at the late stages of the game at that point. But looking at the Boston Celtics, guys that went off, basically Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And entirely, the Boston, they just weren't missing shots. Look at Williams. He was 4 of 5 from 3. You got Tatum, 4 of 8 from 3. Horford was 2 of 5. Smart was 1 of 2. You got Jaylen Brown was 5 of 7. And then guys off of the bench, Hauser, 3 of 5. Nesmith, 3 of 5 from the 3. So basically, people were just going off entirely. They just weren't missing their shots. That is basically everything that happened in today's game. The Sixers sucked, and Boston was just unreal in today's game, specifically Tatum and Brown. Those two were just unreal. And also everything that was coming into this game, Boston was coming in on an 8-game win streak. Now they're on a 9-game win streak. And you're getting closer and closer towards the All-Star break, so maybe that's definitely what the Sixers team needs. But they do have another tough game coming up on Thursday in Milwaukee against the Bucks, against Giannis and that very tough team. So yeah, after a big loss like this tonight, when everyone really just didn't have their best, and I mean everyone, Joel Embiid didn't play his best either, but still he was one of the only guys trying. Yeah, it's going to be... Let's see how they respond. Basically, this is a game. Throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash and completely forget about this one. Because literally, it's one of those that's how bad it was. It's one of those games you just gotta scrap up and throw it in the trash and completely forget about it. Erase your mind from this one. Like, you know those, like that thing from the Men in Black movies that they use to erase someone's mind? That's basically what they need right now. So yeah, it was one of those things. Definitely one of those things. So, I would say that's more of the summary of the game, because it was just that bad. That was how bad everything was going for the Sixers tonight and how good Boston was. So I want to get into more of everything from the James Harden press conference and also just going into the Ben Simmons stuff. So Ben Simmons basically having his first press conference in so long after all of this crap even started after that Game 7 series against the Atlanta Hawks last year. And from everything going from how he admitted to mental health problems, how he requested a trade from the Sixers, how everything was going down from him blaming Doc Rivers, blaming Joel Embiid, and everything like that, just can't take a lick of criticism, to him just eventually getting traded from the Sixers the past couple of days ago, and then appearing, like basically immediately appearing with his teammates in Brooklyn. It's definitely a touchy subject talking about mental health. And there are a lot of things that do bother me with everything in this Ben Simmons situation, because right now he claims mental health, and I don't want to really deny him not having mental health problems, because we don't know officially what is going on, what demons he was facing over the course of this entire thing. But to where he's talking about his press conference today and how saying that stuff involving, it was not on the fans, it was not on Doc Rivers, it was not on his teammates, it was basically he was just in a dark place. And yeah, definitely he could have been in a dark place, but then everything discussing from Rich Paul Clutch Sports to where everything was basically thrown towards blaming guys like Doc Rivers, blaming guys like Joel Embiid, blaming the fans for the criticism that he was facing after that Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks. So there's a weird correlation that's just not adding up. Nothing is really adding up. So you're getting the reports before the trade happens that he's blaming a lot of people on the Sixers for everything that is going on. And then once he gets into his interview with the Brooklyn Nets, it's not anyone on the Sixers. It's not the fans' fault. It's basically just all him. There's nothing adding up in that entire scenario, which really does bother me. And it's just a weird situation entirely to talk about, because when I look at this entire thing, no, I don't want to deny that he was not going through anything, because of course, he could have been going through something. We cannot deny that. I don't want to sit here, discuss that I don't think he was going through anything, because maybe he was. But when you look at the information provided to you from everything that is going on from the beginning point to where we are now, nothing seems like it adds up. And this is a topic to me, because throughout my personal life, I have anxiety issues. I've been being treated for anxiety. I go through that problem. I'm not afraid to admit that. I know friends that struggle with it. I know family members that struggle with it. And when I talk to certain friends, certain family members, they look at this Ben Simmons stuff and they just think it's a complete joke to how he's coming out with this. Because if you look at the Philadelphia sports circle in general, when you look at recently with the Philadelphia Eagles and Lane Johnson on how he needed to take a break from the team, but then he came back to the team and basically was using his platform to spread awareness from the mental problems that he was going through, and how he wants to use his platform to show people it's not wrong to step out, it's not wrong to ask for help, it's okay to do these things. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to realize that you're having troubles mentally. It is okay to get help. And he's going to use this platform to spread that type of awareness. But for Ben Simmons' standpoint, really just nothing was there. It really just felt like when eventually the fines were starting to get along, that's really when mental problems started coming out. The mental health issues really didn't start until after the fines were coming. And it was just it's a touchy topic, and it's something that does really bother me entirely. But I think at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is no longer on the Sixers, and I think that is the bottom line of this entire situation. He is no longer on the Sixers, and I shouldn't care about it anymore. That's really the entirety of this. It was just really listening to that press conference kind of got under my skin a little bit, just because of a lot of things that didn't add up. But going to James Harden, I think James Harden is really, the bright spot of this entire thing, because talking through some of the questions, and there were a lot of questions that were basically just James Harden, why are you going through so many teams in so many different years? Why did you leave Houston? Why did you go to Brooklyn? Why did you choose to leave Brooklyn? Just can we just ask some better questions, folks? But there were some great answers, though. There were some good answers from James Harden. There's, talking about, the decision to leave Brooklyn. He really wanted to leave that all behind him and really didn't want to discuss that, which was very understandable. I understand that completely. But originally, when he, during the trade deadline last year, when everything was the Sixers almost got James Harden at that trade deadline. It was he originally wanted to go to the Sixers. They were his first destination. Just the trade was not able to go through at that point, and he eventually got traded to the Nets. So the Sixers, they were a team he wanted to come to. He has the connections with Daryl Morey going back to Houston, and he also wanted to play under a guy like a Doc Rivers because he has so much respect for him. He wants to play alongside a Joel Embiid, and definitely after watching this game, oh my God, he was like, man, I need to help this team out and fast. That's basically what it felt like. Hopefully that's something that he's feeling like, because you definitely got that, type of vibe on the bench when he's just like watching everything happening right in front of him as his team is absolutely getting destroyed. But still, it was exciting watching that James Harden press conference, and the one question talking, I think it was Jamie Apodi talking about the chances of this team winning a championship, and he goes, hell yeah, at the end of it, to end it off. It was just like you're going from the Ben Simmons press conference to where it kind of boils your blood a little bit to James Harden, to where it basically just uplifts you, and I just can't wait to see James Harden in a Sixers uniform. Sadly, it's going to be not until after the All-Star break, which kind of sucks. So, yeah, it really does suck that we don't get to see James Harden. And this game really sucked today. It was a really bad game, and it's a game that I really want to forget about. Basically, the entire summary of this entire thing. So, the Sixers, they have a game on Thursday against the Bucks at 8:30. That is another nationally televised broadcasted game. So, hopefully this is a game they throw away in the trash and just focus on Thursday. Hopefully Joel Embiid comes out with a big fire under his ass after the way they played today, because Joel Embiid has done that many times this season in games where him specifically had a bad game, and then he goes off for a huge night the following night or the next couple of nights after. Hopefully this is one of those are going to be one of those games where he goes completely off, but it's going to be a really tough game once again for the Sixers. The Milwaukee Bucks are no joke. They're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, one of the best teams in the league. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very, very tough matchup, and hopefully they can find a way to get a win under their belt before the All-Star break, so then we can appreciate James Harden coming back. So that'll be very, very fun to see when that eventually happens. So what are your thoughts on this game, everyone? If you do have any thoughts on it, if it's a game that you just want to forget, I definitely understand that. What are your thoughts on the Ben Simmons situation, his press conference, and your thoughts on the James Harden press conference? I want to hear all those thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. So don't forget to leave those down there. Or don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Don't forget to check those out. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button, and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.